Hey my loves, this is Lady L. Keturah. You are here because it's story time with Keturah. Story time with Keturah. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. Make sure you subscribe, you follow, you share these videos. But before we get started, I own my own tea shop online for right now. It's online. And I have the Love Herbs tea. I have more varieties of teas. But this one right here is a mental health boost tea. It's valerian root and chamomile, which is very good to just relax your body, relax your mind, preventing like anxiety and depression and anything that makes you sad. This tea is very good for that, and you will get 10 bags in here, and you can purchase my tea at www.loveartstea.shop, and you will also receive free shipping as well. So make sure you go support me, and I love you for that. And we're gonna get started into Marriage Boot Camp book. So as I, read, I sip on my tea. This is the black. This is the black tea with lime and bananas. I dehydrated the bananas and the limes, and it's really good. I'm not a coffee drinker, but it tastes like, because I froze the tea, because it's a loose leaf tea. This one is. I froze it because I wasn't sure. Like, that was my first time really dehydrating. Like the lime and the bananas. So I was trying to make sure like it wouldn't, like have mold on it or anything like that. But I guess because you dehydrate it, it won't. But I was just trying to make sure. And then when you freeze like loose leaf tea, I noticed as well, like it just has like this fresher taste to it. It's really good. So yeah, that's what I'm sipping on. And I would love for y'all to be sipping on the same thing, Okay, so let's get started. Okay, like I said, it's story time with Keturah. Story time with Keturah. We're reading Marriage Boot Camp by Elizabeth and Jim Carroll. You may have seen this show on WeTV. Yeah, on WeTV, the same TV show channel that I think that Toya and her daughter Regina got a show coming out, I believe, tomorrow. So y'all make sure y'all go watch that and see what y'all can learn from it, All right, so where we left off yesterday, we're talking about communication, and we're at double jeopardy. Okay, so what happens if the other person follows up with another potentially emotional question, mask, and logic? What if a husband answers, "You look great in everything," and she replies, "You're full of crap"? Are you that type of wife? And what I also explained in my last video is, because it says Marriage Boot Camp, I'm not just talking to marriage couples. I'm talking to people like me as well that is preparing for marriage. Even if you don't have an engagement ring, I don't have an engagement ring, but prepare your mind, your heart for marriage. So we need to learn from these type of books. We need to learn from God's word, first of all, how we need to prepare for marriage so that we can be, as God called us to be perfect. So we can be perfect in our marriage. We can know how to handle different things in our marriage instead of just going for it for the wrong reasons is what I'm saying. So, okay. So are you that type of wife where if your husband, compliments you and you don't really feel like he's telling the truth, so you just say something bad, negative, he's full of crap? That's a no-no. And I'm not even married, and I know that's a no-no, because don't go into marriage downing and talking back in a rude way to your husband, because that's just going to, that's just going to cause more problems in your marriage. It really is. And then that's going to be a communication problem. And who knows, some men may be abusive, so you don't want to say something like that, like, but I really pray that he's telling the truth, and if your wife comes to you and asking you how she look, be honest. When you're in a marriage, it's so important, as we prepare for marriage as well, it's so important to be honest, to be truthful in the marriage. Do not go into your marriage telling lies just to make your wife or your husband feel good, because that lies don't feel good regardless, but then it's gonna come out, and then it's gonna be a whole nother problem. And that's why a lot of people be getting divorces too, because they enter marriages into not being honest, always telling lies, always downing each other, being disrespectful to each other. That's not what a marriage is about. So we have to live higher, than that. Okay, so let me read this again. So double jeopardy. Okay, so what happens if the other person follows up with another potentially emotional question masked in logic? What if a husband answers, "You look great and everything," and she replies, "You're full of crap"? That's so disrespectful, right? And if you don't think it's disrespectful, the truth is it's disrespectful, and you need to pray. I encourage you to pray to Jesus and ask him to guide you, to help you understand the polite way to answer your husband and honoring him and submitting to him in the perfect way that God has set you up to be. Okay. And then she says, "I know you're lying, just tell me the truth." And when you're one, because when you're married, you become one in the flesh, you would know, if in spirit and everything, that you would know. Hold on, I had to sip on that one. You would know if your spouse is really telling the truth or not. So don't scream that, "Oh, I know you're lying." That ain't gonna do nothing but start another argument. Now, if he's really a liar and she's really a liar, then y'all need to get down on y'all knees and pray and ask God to deliver y'all from lying, but not keep bickering at each other. That's going to turn into arguments or fighting each other. And that, even if y'all have children, that hurts the children to see that. So you have to build a foundation in the marriage on love, on being true to each other, on respecting, on honoring each other, on submitting to each other. When this happens, she is probably looking for a specific answer, and you should pick up on her cue and continue to respond emotionally. Reaffirm what you said and be specific in your observation. You might say, "Actually, your legs look really long in that." Or, "I like that even more than your pink dress," when she knows you love. If she continues to question you, asking you for clarification, "What do you think doesn't look good about the dress?" "I think it looks great on you." If she gets specific, you can respond and make her feel more secure. "No, your butt doesn't look fat, but your cleavage looks fantastic." Boom. That way, that will make her smile. Bottom line, don't take the bait. Always err on the side of love when asked an emotional question. So here are some typical emotional questions from the ladies. Do you have any emotional questions like you be asking your husband, or as you prepare for your husband, as you prepare to get married? Do you ever think about that? Or do you have any emotional questions? such as, do I look fat? Would you marry me all over again? Do I look as good as when we first met? What would happen if we met each other for the first time right now? Was sex ever great with anyone else? That's one question I'm not even about to ask. Like, if I know I'm married to my husband, why I'm sitting up here asking him, was sex great with anyone else? Why not? Why? What? That's a no. No. You don't bring up your old past when it comes to that situation. Like, I know personally I wouldn't, because why? I mean, what is it gonna do? Like, I don't want to hear about him, who he used to sleep with and this and that, and no, I just don't. Like, I don't. Because if anything, it will be, we make it great. You know, that's how you look at it. Like, we make it great in this marriage. Okay. So, can you imagine being with anyone else? No, I see that right there. To me, is like you're opening the door for insecurity. Like, so would you be with anybody else? Why would you even bring that up when y'all are already married? You have the man and the woman that you want forever. So that's a no. Don't bring them questions up, because that's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. And we don't want problems in the marriage. We want happiness and love and everything that just keeps us happy, and to be perfect in the name of Jesus. So, yeah. Men are less obvious with their emotional language and their needs for frequently about respect. Men will often brag, tell sports stories, complain about bills, or moan about how hard they work. It is your job to pay attention to your mate's emotional language. It sure is. And be prepared to give answers when it is needed. For example, men might say, do you remember when I am swamped at work, ... Traffic is a nightmare, ... Boot camp call to action. Whoa. Action time. Let's see what this is about. Think about your own emotional language. What things do you say that could be misinterpreted as a logical question when you are really asking for answers and not the information? Hint, these are things you usually say right before a fight. And see, that's one thing. I'm not going into a marriage thinking, okay, are we going to fight each other? That's a no. You don't fight each other in a marriage. And if you have, forgive each other. Go to each other, sit down, explain to what you was wrong, apologize, forgive each other, pray to God to ask him to forgive you both for fighting each other, and just focus on a peaceful, loving, happy marriage. Write down your personal examples. What would you love to hear? What do you need to hear? So that's good. So you get your little personal journal, get you a personal journal, and get you a personal journal, or even like this right here, which I'm selling this. This is a Valentine package. It has my tea in the back of it. This is the photo album, but you can get nice like computer paper or notebook paper, and you all can write your questions down. You can really get fancy with it and laminate it if you want, and then put it inside the photo book, and have your answers. And you always can look back at it to see the progress in your marriage. So that's an idea. So if you're interested in buying this gift from me, it is on my website as well, www.loveherbstea.shop. Yeah, so this is a perfect little Valentine's gift. Got your tea, your green tea right there, and your little photo album. It's time to bring these photo albums back, because we have gotten so, some people have got so addicted to the phones and you're relying on the phone's pictures, and next thing you know, what about if you drop that phone or you can't get those pictures back? That's hurtful, you know? So go to Walmart, send those pictures to Walmart or wherever else. I think Walgreens may do it too. Print those pictures out. Get you one of my little cute photo albums that I personalized. Or, I mean, you know, yeah. And put your pictures in there so you can always see your photos, you know. Okay, so marriage boot camp quick script. Since not all of us have a natural ability to respond emotionally with affirmation instead of information, we recommend you use the marriage boot camp quick script to give you a model of how to respond if your mate says one of the following. Do I look fat? This is not a time for how many pounds she or he needs to lose. You look beautiful. When I look at you, I see fill in the blank with every wonderful thing you observe. Start from the top and work your way down. For example, shiny, gorgeous, healthy hair, glowing skin, beautiful breasts, a tiny waist, sexy round hips, and long legs. I do not see fat. Are you unhappy with the weight? I'm not. Would you marry me all over again? Do not say no unless you want your marriage to end. Think about the person that you wanted for your mate and speak from that place. Of course I would. You are my soulmate, my best friend, and the love of my life. You are the person who shares everything with me. Do I look as good as we first met? No, you look better. Our life together is written all over, and it adds beauty and depth. Okay, so what would happen if we met each other for the first time right now? I would feel they said I would feel the same magic, but I don't believe in magic. I don't worship magic. And in my marriage, as I prepare for marriage, we won't do no magic in our marriage, because magic is evil. It does not honor God. We don't do magic, okay? So I'm gonna skip that part. What sets ever great with anyone else? Let's see what they answer right here. Because how would you really like respond to that? Like if one of your spouse asks you what sets great with anyone else? The combination of the words sex and great only happens when we are together. Exactly, okay? You are wonderful. I can't even compare it to anyone else I've been with, because you're the only one who has ever mattered this much. Can you imagine being with anyone else? I can't imagine being with anyone but you. Do you remember when I ... I do. But tell me again, I love that story. This also presents a wonderful opportunity in a social setting for you to say, honey, tell that story about, and encourage your mate to relive the happy moments. I am swamped at work. You work so hard, and I'm grateful for everything you do for us. I always encourage each other. You know, if y'all always working, and especially if your husband is a truly, like, you know, working man to make sure his family is taken care of, always encourage and remind him how thankful you are for what he does for you and your family. You know, even if it's just the words that's coming out your mouth, a hug to remind him that, a little text message, a romantic text, or a romantic setup when he get home, of course. That all matters in the marriage, okay? Traffic is a nightmare, and you make this drive every day. Thank you for your sacrifice and how hard you work for us.